Hi guys! I know it's been a very long time. I didn't even look back at my last video on my reselling, no excuses reseller channel. I didn't even look at when I made my last one. This is important to me. I love having the interaction. Thank you all who have not unsubscribed from me, since I have not been faithful at making videos like I had always intended. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. I feel like I'm really kind of blurry. I don't know why. Hopefully this video is really nice and clear. If not, I'll use my phone. But anyway, I just had partly a rough year, but just a lot going on. I know we all do, so that's no excuse not to make videos, but I had to just prioritize, and I think we all should. Money has to come first, working first, family first, those kinds of things. So this summer, I went and saw my mom twice in Texas, and she's 73 years old, and she still works as a full-time nursing professor, so she is not sitting around just waiting for me to visit, which is good. But my two brothers are still kind of trapped overseas. Not like it sounds. They love their jobs. They're happy to be there. But to come over and see my parents, they would have to just quarantine on both ends. And it's just like, it would end up being about a month of just quarantine type things, let alone the time that you're here to visit. And so I think the soonest that I might see my brothers again, and my parents also, is maybe January if we're fortunate. One brother lives in Australia and the other one lives in China. And plus we all want to be safe. That's just, also true. But, it's been 2.5 years now. I think one brother I saw the Thanksgiving before COVID really hit, I think. It's just such a blur now. Who would have thought this would go on over 2 years. But so I'm the good child, as I tell my parents and my brothers. It's kind of a family joke. I am the child who has stayed in the United States. And so, but truth be told, no matter how healthy my parents are, they are in their 70s, and I feel like they deserve to have visitors. They're wonderful parents. And my mom's husband has some health issues that made it really smart for them to move to Texas, even though, it's farther away from most of their family. The high altitude here where they were living here, kind of close to us in Wyoming, some people have to wear oxygen. And then if you move to a lower sea level, you don't have to wear that. And that's the case. So, I spent a lot of time with my mom, a lot of time with family while things were opened up after, vaccinations happened and different things for, certain family members. And then sadly also my grandma had passed away during COVID. Wonderful woman, 92 years old. She didn't die of COVID, but she had had breathing problems. So, we'll never know. I'm a former nurse, so I would never think the worst of nurses or anything like that. But, it's always scary when you have to drop your loved one off at the emergency room, and then you're not allowed to go in. The reasoning behind it is understandable. They don't want family members getting COVID or bringing COVID in, more likely. But, it was the kind of thing. My aunts dropped her off, thought she was doing well, about 2 years ago. And, during the height of COVID in the summer, and, she just never came back out of the hospital. So we weren't able to have any kind of a service or remembrance the year before, in what would that have been? Again, a blur. 2020, we weren't able to do anything. So this summer, I traveled up through Kentucky, Ohio, different places, to, do right by my grandma and have the right memorial that she deserves. And it's so interesting. I could talk about it, but my grandma was born a twin, and her twin died within a day of being born. And my grandma, like I said, lived to be 92. But so her twin was buried in a cemetery in the backwoods of Kentucky. and it has gone in disrepair. So when I say it's in the woods of Kentucky, I don't mean, it's just kind of on the edge and, there's a few weeds. I'm talking about in the woods with chiggers, with everything. And first of all, we had to find it. It's amazing to me that my grandma always felt like a twin. Maybe you're a twin and you understand that, but she felt like she wanted to be buried next to her twin. As she got older, she made some of her wishes known. And so we all had to really go on this journey to get with some historical societies, some genealogy, Facebook pages, and we were trying to figure out, does her twin even have a headstone? Because everyone involved, brothers, sisters, everything are dead. My grandma was the longest living sibling out of 10, if you include the twin. And so all her brothers are gone. We knew where all of their burial sites were and different things, but because they all lived out of infancy. But anyway, so as sad as it was, because I definitely miss my grandma, she was an important part of my life, lived with me for years, and just always bounced back after being widowed several times and having one abusive husband earlier in her life, which back in those days, to get away from an abusive husband was really something. It is now, not to degrade what it is now, but back then, no life skills. She did not drive, and she was a waitress her entire life. And one of my best memories is of her counting her jars of quarters. And, she had money back then, man. She was a good waitress and people just gave her money, and she'd come home after work and have what I would consider a lot of money right now. But this was when I was, 8 and 10 years old that she lived with us. And I remember thinking, man, I'm going to, definitely be a waitress, because she had so much money. And, so it was hard, but amazing. I hadn't been to Kentucky and Ohio in quite a long time. She had lived in Michigan, and so that's where I would go to see her. But, she wanted to be buried near the homestead, the old homestead. And it's near Liberty, Kentucky. So it was an amazing time, but I took 3 trips, 2 to Texas, 1 to Kentucky, and then plus I spent some time with our own children, all within like 8 weeks time. And so I had to make sure that I had listings scheduled each day of those days that I had off. And I'm proud of myself. I had listings scheduled to go in every day, but 2 of the days on one of the trips, I just had to leave and could not pull it off. And I noticed the difference in my sales on those 2 days. I didn't worry about it because I needed to go do these things, but, definitely that's why, long story path there, why I have not, been making videos lately. So as far as the business goes, let me see. I'm still, I am, my number one goal in the next few months somehow is to learn how to insert things into a video. I want to discover which is the best online editing software for someone who just wants a few simple things. I don't want to have, amazing music and all of that. I just want to be able to have my sale pop up on the eBay listing of what I sold, so I can do what sold videos. And I still don't get it. I tried one the other day. I don't even know what it is, and I couldn't figure it out. So it has to be super simple. And I keep Googling simple video editing software. And I'm fine to pay a little bit. I don't care. Whatever is simple, I will even pay for. But anyway, I haven't gotten that far yet. It was one of my goals for the summer, and I just didn't get to work on it. But I'm very proud of my sales. Here's where I'm at. I don't know how to get... There we go. So it'll probably be backwards to you. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how this works. But anyway, you can see $27,290.32 in the last 90 days. And this month, I actually touched 10,000 in September. And then now it's back down to 9,700 rolling. So I'm going to see that hit 30,000 soon and stay there. I wanted to talk about that really briefly. As far as the changes I've made. So in the time since you've seen me, I realized that I needed to learn to list faster or something. I needed to figure out why, I just wasn't getting enough listings up. And I always thought the answer was to hire someone. And I'm always open to that. It's something that in the future probably will happen. But I am on a group called Daily Refinement with Chris, and then you join the group, and then there's another guy named Tech, and he has literally one of the largest clothing stores on eBay on there. So if you're interested in growing your sales, I would highly recommend it. It's worth every dollar of the $30 a month or whatever it is. I pay $39 maybe. But anyway, believe it or not, they teach you how you're listing wrong and not fast enough. And I have listed for 20 some years. I have much more experience on eBay than Tech and Chris combined as far as years go. And so if you would have told me that I'm listing slow or, whatever, I would have said, no way. I've done this for many years. I want these listings done. I always feel like I'm frantic when I'm listing. So I would have laughed at them if they said, the number one thing you need to do is learn to list faster and more efficiently. And anyway, go check it out for yourself. Chris does a lot of YouTube videos in the morning under Daily Refinement, and you can kind of get a piece of what he's saying. Actually, about 50% of what he's saying is just free on YouTube. And then you can go join the group, and it's even more intense. And so long story short, the reason that my store is finally growing, there's many reasons. There's many things they teach in the group. There's a lot of things that I've learned from other YouTubers too. But I have definitely niched down to streamline my process. I know that's controversial, but I have also given up cross-posting. Now, I'm able in a second to go start right back on Poshmark, to go start right back on all of these sites. But I have, Amazon as a backup. I do still send a few things to Amazon. So that is splitting me enough and splitting my time enough. And so eBay alone is fine, because if something happened on eBay, I could either out of Ink Frog figure out how to somehow cross post that. If I really lost my eBay store forever is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like I still have kind of a backup there with my Amazon sales. But the other thing is that they teach you how to list faster, but also just by streamlining your process, you're not stressed. So anybody can list more per day. Anybody can teach you, well, you just stay up all night and you just list more. That's kind of where I thought it was heading. Okay, I'm full-time. I'm going to have to just stay up later, work more hours, get this done. And surprisingly and wonderfully, I actually have more time than I've ever had because of the simple changes that I made. And when you hear about them, when you watch Chris's channel, you want to just like, why didn't I think of that? Why do I have to listen to this video to figure that out? That makes sense. But so I've niched down. I do 90% clothing. I'm still not out of the hard goods completely because of where I live in Wyoming. I do have to always keep things on hand in case of a blizzard, or COVID could still happen too. That's still a possibility. So that's the first thing that I've been doing that really, really helped my sales. In the summer, my sales are higher and my net income is much higher because I shop at garage sales. So I pay a lot less. And so I was trying desperately to stock up all summer, and I even rented half of a storage unit with a friend of mine. And I just planned on having tubs of clean, washed clothing ready to list in that storage unit. But because at the same time, I was also learning how to list faster, I never accomplished that goal. So I do have maybe 60, 70 items on hand in case of a winter storm, which October is coming, and that's more than a possibility. But I never accomplished the goal. And so I'm going to garage sale probably Friday again, and I'm trying to just buy things at very inexpensive prices, but yet really high sell-through. And that's not easy to achieve, as we all know. So it takes a lot of time, but then when I come home, I'm listing great stuff and I'm listing it fast, and I have so much more personal and free time. And so going into the winter, my sales, I think, are going to continue to grow, but my net profit may go down because then I'm going to have to either drive all the way to the bins in Denver to get cheaper items, or I'm going to have to just pay $3 and $4 for items that right now I'm getting for $1, maybe $2. I haven't completely quit. I did not completely quit thrifting over the summer, but I definitely lessened it. And then I missed 6 weeks of really good sourcing. I tried to come home from those trips and then go right into, sorry, my son's trying to call me, right into listing or right into shopping on the weekends. But some of the funerals and different things that I had to go to were on the weekends. And so it just didn't work out. And I had to give up my garage sale weekends for that. So anyway, that's kind of an update of where I'm at. I'm very, very happy with my sales. 27,000 over 90 days is good. My goals are still higher because after having been in that group, I realize that the sky is really the limit, even as a sole person without hiring anyone. And then if I do get to a place to where I decide that my process is clean and refined enough, then I will be able to teach my process to an employee. And so I may go that route eventually. But right now, my average sales are between 10 and 15 a day. And I'm listing, between 20 to 30 a day. And so I'm seeing it catch up, especially in the summer. I continued to list jeans, and a lot of those jeans now are selling in the last, month or two. And I think that's how I got to 10,000 a week ago for the month of, for that day, the scrolling 30 days, or 31 days, whatever it was for September. So I'm going to let you go. I will be doing some haul videos and some more updates on some of my processes. Right now, everything's just kind of trashed down in my office because I have been garage sailing and listing. Listing has become my number one goal, my number one priority every day as far as my business is concerned. And if other things aren't cleaned up or reset to zero, that has to be okay. Now, I don't like it, and I don't think it makes me as efficient as I can be when everything is where it should be, but the listings have to come first. And that's another thing that I've learned in the group, is that that's your priority, and then you do everything else you possibly can in the meantime. But when I do that, my sales are amazing. So let me know what you guys have been up to this summer. I really apologize. Thank you for hanging with me. For those of you who are still subscribing, trying to think of anything else new that you would even be wanting to know. But I'm going to let you go with that, and I will be posting more this week. Have a great day, guys, from Wyoming. It's a little cold today. I got my long sleeve. I have to wear long sleeves now. I think the days of short sleeves are kind of gone for me, even though it's September 29th. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.